about not having plus size icons in the fashion business?
Now, the only reason why I jumped on the defense of Lonnie is because I actually listened to what everything that Lonnie was saying, and I feel like not everyone was understanding what she was trying to say. When she was talking about, someone asked her about an icon, a plus size icon, and Lonnie is in her 40s. She said, "No, I do not have someone I look up to that's like an icon, because honestly, there is no icon for a plus size woman. There's no Naomi Campbell of plus size." And that's when people on Twitter jump to the defense of, well, Lyra's Cross. But Lyra's Cross is just now being considered plus size. She was never plus size before. She was a video vixen. And she was not plus size. She gained weight now and started doing some little modeling, but she's nowhere near Naomi Campbell. So she's not an icon. Ashley Graham is brand new. So for Lonnie's not looking up to this girl, because the girl's in her, late 20s, early 30s. The girl just came out, so Lonnie's not looking at her as an icon for her, especially growing up, because obviously Ashley Graham was a child when she was growing up. Probably wasn't even born yet. And then Ashley Graham is said to be on the fence of plus size, especially now, because they said that she's not really considered plus size. And then for Aretha Franklin is not known for fashion. Queen Latifah is not known for fashion. So a lot of people just took what she said and ran with it and put their spin to it and took it out of context. And they're acting like Lonnie is some small woman. Like she just downplayed everyone. And I'm like, come on now. You know Lonnie is not for that. And Lonnie does not say that. Now Lonnie can say and do certain things that could be trivial. But when it comes to this topic, I said honestly, I think everyone is being this new overly sensitive, overly what's the word I'm trying to think of? But they're just being overly sensitive about everything and taking offense to everything, because what she said there was nothing wrong with what she said. She has no plus size icon that's a role model, and then she has no one in the fashion industry that is legendary to her, and she's right. So that's how I took it, and that's my take on it.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, Xavier, about people being, and I don't necessarily know that they're being overly sensitive, although it comes across that way, but it's like being overly oppositional, and it's like they're trying to be in support of people who are perceived to be like the underdog. And it's just like, are you really this upset about what they said? Or are you just trying to jump on the bandwagon of, sticking it to the opposition without really thinking about it on a deeper level and putting context to what people say and do? It's just a reactionary thing. And yeah, it's kind of wearing on me. And I think a lot of people, that this is a trend. I wouldn't necessarily new, but like it's definitely a trend. Just on the bandwagon of like being angry and cancel culture kind of thing.
I hope it ends after this decade is over. They always start a new trend after every decade. Give it like 3 years into the 2020s.
Mm-hmm.
I can appreciate like where the heart is behind it. Like I think that people really are trying to be supportive of people who are victimized. Not necessarily victimized. That's maybe a strong word. But like people who are often kicked by the rest of society and treated like crap, so they want to like be in defense of those people. But the fact that they're doing it in a way that's like you're not even really thinking about things. You're not like you're just. Are you really supporting these people, or are you just jumping on the bandwagon of hatred in order to seem like you're supportive of these people? Because I feel like there's better things that you could be doing to support people who are mistreated than to just jump on the cancel culture bandwagon. But it's the easiest thing to do is just rant about it on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram or whatever.
It's like this tweet I read. Everybody trying to be an activist in 250 characters or less.
Ooh, that's good. That's good.
So let me ask y'all a question. Since we are all of us are younger than Lonnie Love, do you think anybody in the plus size industry are like even close to icons? Because I'm not giving anybody the icon status because of if you're an icon, then everybody has to know you. I barely know who Lyris Cross was, so would y'all really consider anybody like close to being an icon in the plus size model industry?
I can't say so because I don't know a lot about the fashion industry. There's certain names that not knowing anything about the fashion industry I've heard of, and I can't think of any names off the top of my head that are plus size that I know of. But it's kind of like it's almost too soon because all the top people icons that I can think of have probably been icons for before the whole body positivity has really taken off. So it's like you kind of gotta give it time to manifest. Like it's not happened yet, but that doesn't mean that it can't happen.
Yeah, we all been body positive like this for like the last 7 years or something like that.
You can say that about
Especially in
60 some years.
especially in the modeling industry. So
Yeah,
I don't.
there's been like a rise of like body positivity. To me, the closest to it is probably Takara, and that's probably because that's the only name I know. And I used to watch America's Next Top Model when I was younger. But she also lost weight. She wouldn't. I wouldn't. Well, me personally, I wouldn't consider her plus size because she got the body as most people that are models now. But I
Right.
would say she started that. So that's about the closest I would say to Kara.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
What we talking about when we say plus size model anyway? You talking about like around 150 pounds or higher?
Well, for women, most women, if you're going to be a model, you have to be like 5'10", 5'11", maybe 5'9". But a lot of times you have to be kind of tall. So if you're going to be, when you are tall like that, I think when you are plus size, it probably starts when you're like 160 pounds. If you're like 5'10", I think. I'm trying to think of like a chart. Because like when you think of a woman who's like 5'10" and she's kind of heavy, she's like 150, 160.
Yeah.
So it's like around then, I think. But yeah. Because if a woman is 5'1" and 160, that's different than like obviously a woman that's 5'10" and 160.
Right. So it's like a body type that would be considered plus size.
Yeah. And
That's
I
wrong.
feel like a lot of people put, plus size in one category. It's like
Mm.
if you don't have like a stomach, if your legs aren't a certain size and stuff, I feel like they don't want to consider you plus size.
Oh.
I've noticed some comments, under certain photos of like models who are trying to say they're plus size. People are like, no, you're not really plus size. And the woman's like, well, I wear a size 16. That is plus size. They're like, well, you don't look like a plus. You don't look that big. But it's like, well, but she is. She just has a flat stomach,
Mm-hmm.
but she is, plus size.
She got super thick thighs and some weight on her arms, but the stomach flat. They just like, oh,
Yeah,
you're ideal. You're not plus size.
exactly.
I just put it in the chat, the height weight ratio chart. Now I don't know how old it is, but That's usually if I could base it off that. I think what Takara's about 5'9", 5'10". So I guess the highest, and according to that, the highest is about 170. So I guess according, if you're going off of that chart, then maybe, then, but I'm not sure because I think a lot of people base their height and weight differently. Because to me, like I said, Takara's she's thinner. She's definitely thinner than she was like when she started on America's Next Top Model, and even then, I didn't think she was that big. So. So, anybody got anything to say before we move on to the next topic?
I learned a lot. Thank y'all.
Okay, and like staying on a body positivity thing, Lizzo was at a Laker game when they played music and started dancing, but when you see them